Hello brothers and welcome to Sigma Old Man channel. Appear weak when you are strong and strong when you are weak. Sun Tzu. That's the silent rule Sigma males live by every day. On the surface they might seem confused, distracted, or even slow to grasp what's happening, but that's the brilliance of it. Studies show that humans consistently underestimate those who don't immediately assert themselves, mistaking quiet observation for ignorance. And the Sigma thrives in that blind spot. While others scramble to prove their intelligence, flex their opinions, or dominate every conversation, the Sigma leans back, lets the noise unfold, and quietly collects every piece of information he needs. The humor is in watching people overcomplicate, over-explain, and even overestimate themselves, thinking they're outsmarting him, when in reality they're providing him with the perfect roadmap. This isn't cluelessness, it's strategy disguised as simplicity, a camouflage that allows him to manipulate outcomes, expose arrogance, and avoid unnecessary conflict, all while appearing completely harmless. By the time anyone realizes what's happening, the Sigma is already several steps ahead, leaving everyone else wondering how the lost guy ended up winning the game. In a world that rewards noise, the Sigma shows that sometimes silence, patience, and a little act of cluelessness are the sharpest weapons of all. Number 1, they enjoy watching others trip on their own ego. Nothing exposes people's ego faster than their desperate need to prove how smart they are. Sigma males know this too well, and that's why they often lean back, act clueless, and let others trip over their own pride. It's almost like setting a trap without moving a finger. All the Sigma has to do is look like he's not fully following along, and suddenly someone else feels the irresistible urge to step up, dominate the conversation, and put on a show. That show is exactly what the Sigma is waiting for. Most people can't handle silence or subtle indifference. If someone seems confused, they rush to fill the gap, to prove that they're the one who has the answers. They over-explain, they repeat themselves, and they give away way more than they should. The Sigma sits quietly, storing all that information, while the so-called genius reveals every insecurity in the book. By the time it's done, the Sigma has a complete read on their psychology, their weaknesses, and their blind spots, all without saying a single clever word. The humor in this is that people think they're putting the Sigma in his place. They smirk, they talk down, they exaggerate just to look brilliant next to the slow one. But what they don't see is that the Sigma is quietly amused, watching them inflate their ego like a balloon, already knowing how and when it's going to pop. He doesn't need to interrupt, argue, or correct anyone. He just waits, because pride has a way of destroying itself. This is why Sigmas outsmart entire rooms without looking like they're even playing the game. They don't chase validation, they don't waste energy on flexing, and they don't reveal their full hand. They'd rather let others burn themselves out in the spotlight while they collect insights and prepare their quiet, precise moves. By the time anyone realizes the Sigma wasn't clueless at all, he's already 10 steps ahead, and their ego has given him everything he needs. What looks like detachment is actually sharp patience, and what looks like cluelessness is really strategy. The Sigma doesn't beat ego head-on, he lets it self-destruct, then calmly steps over the rubble. Number 2. They understand that the loudest mind rarely wins. Sigma males know that the world often rewards noise over substance, and that's exactly why they choose to appear quieter, slower, or even dull. Most people confuse confidence with competence, equating someone who speaks constantly with someone who knows more. Sigmas, however, see through that illusion. They understand that brilliance is not about winning debates, impressing with clever remarks, or dominating every conversation. It's about control, timing, and positioning. By feigning dullness, the Sigma avoids unnecessary attention while quietly analyzing everything around him. He watches who speaks to impress, who overestimates themselves, and who underestimates him. This gives him a massive edge. While the loudest voices burn energy, make mistakes, and reveal weaknesses, the Sigma is mentally cataloging the room, absorbing insights, and plotting his next move. It's almost like a game of chess. The loudest player may grab the spotlight, moving pieces recklessly, while the quiet one calculates the sequence that guarantees checkmate. The Sigma doesn't need applause to prove his value. His advantage comes from position, patience, and perception. There's also a psychological effect at play. People often underestimate the quiet one, assuming he lacks ideas or influence. This misjudgment is exactly what the Sigma wants. It gives him freedom to maneuver without resistance, while the others exhaust themselves proving their worth. When the Sigma finally acts, it's precise, impactful, and undeniable, far more effective than constant noise or performative genius ever could be. Ultimately, the Sigma knows that true dominance is subtle, strategic, and invisible to most observers. Being quiet doesn't mean being weak. It means conserving energy, observing patterns, and striking when the opportunity is perfect. The loudest mind may win attention, but the Sigma consistently wins outcomes. Number 3, they use misperception to control narrative. Sigma males are masters at turning perception into a weapon, and one of their most potent tools is misperception. When people believe a Sigma is oblivious, slow to react, or disengaged, they let their guard down around him. They talk freely, reveal secrets, make assumptions, and even maneuver through politics, believing the Sigma isn't paying attention. In reality, he's absorbing everything. Every word, every subtle movement, every hidden agenda, it's all logged mentally, ready to be used when the time is right. This misperceived cluelessness acts like a cloak of social invisibility. Gossip, power plays, and behind-the-scenes manipulation pass over him like he's not even in the room. While others exhaust themselves vying for influence, the Sigma remains untouched, invisible to scrutiny and immune to social traps. This invisibility is a luxury few understand. It allows him to operate without interference, mistakes, or the constant burden of others' expectations. But the Sigma doesn't just hide. He leverages this invisibility to control outcomes quietly. Because no one suspects him, he can influence situations subtly, placing pieces strategically while others are distracted by their own drama. When he finally acts, it's never a fluke. It's a calculated shift that makes it seem effortless, leaving everyone stunned at how the oblivious guy pulled the strings without them noticing. What looks like disengagement is actually a sophisticated method of dominance. By allowing people to underestimate him, he creates a world where they reveal too much and expose their vulnerabilities, while he remains several steps ahead. In essence, the Sigma transforms social misperception into a strategic invisibility cloak, a way to observe, calculate, and manipulate outcomes without ever being threatened by the chaos most people get trapped in. In the end, the Sigma proves that you don't need to be the loudest or the most visible to control the narrative. Sometimes the best power is the one people don't even know exists, quietly guiding the course of events while they're busy thinking he isn't paying attention. Number 4, they outsmart by choosing what not to show. Sigma males understand that true power isn't in showing everything you know, it's in controlling what others see. Acting clueless isn't a flaw or a sign of ignorance, it's a deliberate strategy, a form of selective visibility that keeps everyone off balance. By revealing only carefully chosen pieces of themselves, the ideas, reactions, or skills they want others to notice, they maintain an advantage that most people don't even realize exists. This strategy makes the Sigma unpredictable. Colleagues, rivals, or even friends think they have a read on him, but in reality they're seeing only the surface. Every conversation, every reaction, every subtle display is intentional, a small puzzle piece deliberately offered while the larger picture remains hidden. People naturally try to fill in the gaps, projecting their assumptions, and in doing so they reveal more about themselves than about the Sigma. By withholding key aspects of his personality, intelligence, or intentions, the Sigma creates a constant state of uncertainty around him. Others never know his full capabilities, limits, or plans, which makes it difficult to manipulate, predict, or control him. It's like a game where he sets the rules without anyone realizing it. He can operate freely, assess situations, and make moves while others are still busy guessing. What makes this approach exceptional is its subtlety. It doesn't rely on confrontation, boasting, or dominance in the traditional sense. Instead, it leverages perception itself as a weapon. People assume the Sigma is less capable or involved than he really is, which lulls them into overconfidence or carelessness. Meanwhile, he quietly positions himself for maximum effect, stepping in only when the timing is perfect and the outcome is entirely in his favor. In essence, the Sigma doesn't need to prove himself constantly. He outsources others' assumptions to work in his favor, letting them reveal their strengths, weaknesses, and intentions while he maintains a calm, calculated reserve. Acting clueless, then, is not a limitation. It's a strategic choice, a masterclass in controlling perception, protecting energy, and ensuring that he alone holds the full map of the game. The brilliance of the Sigma lies not in what he shows, but in what he deliberately keeps hidden. That is how he consistently outsmarts everyone around him. Number 5, they see cluelessness as a shield against exploitation. Sigma males have an almost instinctual understanding of human nature, and one of the most brilliant ways they protect themselves is by wearing cluelessness like armor. The moment someone senses competence, efficiency, or authority, they instinctively pile on expectations, tasks, favors, responsibilities, all disguised as opportunities or helping out. Most people fall for it because they feel obligated to prove themselves or be seen as reliable. The Sigma sees it for exactly what it is, a trap. By acting lost, indifferent, or slightly out of the loop, the Sigma quietly signals that he is not a resource to be drained. People naturally adjust their demands, assuming he's incapable of handling more. And it's not laziness, it's calculated self-preservation. Acting less capable creates a buffer that keeps him focused on what actually matters, while others expend their energy on unnecessary drama, ego battles, or redundant tasks. It's fascinating how effective this tactic is. While most people get swallowed by endless responsibilities just to appear competent, the Sigma sidesteps the chaos entirely. He doesn't need to confront anyone or justify his limits. His cluelessness does all the work. It's an invisible barrier that protects his time, energy, and mental bandwidth. At the same time, this mask also serves as a test of intent. Anyone who pushes past the Sigma's feigned ignorance reveals whether they genuinely value him or are simply trying to exploit his abilities. By letting others reveal their true motives, the Sigma gains clarity on who deserves his trust and who doesn't, without ever needing to say a word. In essence, pretending not to fully understand or engage isn't weakness, it's strategic invisibility. Sigma males know that competence alone attracts responsibility traps, stress, and manipulation. By appearing clueless, they reclaim control over their own life, letting the world underestimate them while they quietly navigate the real game on their own terms. Number 6, they understand that playing dumb is a social cheat code. Sigma males have perfected the art of playing dumb as a social superpower. At first glance, it looks like inattention or naivety, but in reality, it's a carefully calculated move. By pretending to miss the obvious, they create a powerful illusion. People assume the Sigma is behind, uninformed, or slow. That assumption is the Sigma's playground because it lulls others into overconfidence, making them careless, reckless, and easy to manipulate without realizing it. This tactic works because humans naturally underestimate what they don't fully understand. When someone appears oblivious, others instinctively take over, explain, or act more aggressively to fill the gap. The Sigma doesn't resist. He lets them exhaust themselves, reveal secrets, or display arrogance, all of which becomes valuable insight. In short, he lets others do the heavy lifting while quietly gathering the information and reading the room. Pretending to miss what's happening also gives the Sigma room to maneuver. While everyone else is tripping over their own assumptions and trying to prove themselves, he moves silently, adjusts his position, and makes precise decisions. No drama, no unnecessary confrontation, just quiet control. By the time anyone realizes he wasn't clueless at all, the Sigma has already shaped the situation to his advantage, leaving people stunned at how someone so out of the loop managed to stay 3 steps ahead. It's a social cheat code because it flips typical dynamics. Most people believe that intelligence must be loud, visible, and performative. The Sigma does the opposite. He hides his hand while observing, waiting, and subtly nudging events. His apparent cluelessness isn't weakness, it's strategic invisibility. Others waste energy proving themselves, revealing too much and exposing vulnerabilities while he preserves his own energy and influence. In essence, playing dumb allows the Sigma to manipulate the flow of social interactions without ever appearing manipulative. It's a masterstroke of psychological subtlety. He looks innocent, non-threatening, even outmatched, while quietly shaping the outcome in ways that leave everyone else scrambling to catch up. It's not acting. It's calculated brilliance disguised as simplicity. Number 7, they know information travels faster when you seem ignorant. Sigma males understand a simple yet powerful truth. People can't resist the urge to teach someone who appears clueless. When the Sigma acts uninformed or unsure, others instinctively step in to explain, clarify, or correct. And in doing so, they reveal far more than they intend. They share insights, strategies, opinions, and even confidential details, all freely handed over because they feel smart, helpful, or superior. This creates an incredible advantage. While most people spend energy hunting for information, attending meetings, or decoding subtle cues, the Sigma quietly collects knowledge effortlessly. Acting ignorant isn't laziness. It's a deliberate way to accelerate the flow of information without lifting a finger. People literally volunteer their insights, thinking they're educating someone less capable, while the Sigma absorbs every word, every nuance, and every hidden motive. The beauty of this strategy is how subtle it is. Nobody suspects that the person they're helping is actually taking mental notes, connecting dots, and mapping out situations for future moves. The Sigma never forces disclosure or interrogates for answers. He simply creates the perception of being uninformed, and the information comes to him. In social and professional circles, this is like being given the master key to doors everyone else is struggling to unlock. It's also a psychological trap. People feel validated for teaching the clueless guy, reinforcing their own ego while unknowingly arming him with everything he needs to outmaneuver them. The Sigma doesn't need to argue, manipulate, or compete. He lets the other person's desire to feel superior do all the work. In essence, acting ignorant is not a weakness. It's a strategic tool to turn others into unwitting informants. By seeming uninformed, the Sigma transforms social interactions into intelligence-gathering opportunities, gaining insider knowledge and hidden insights that others spend months or even years trying to acquire. In his hands, ignorance is a magnet for truth, and the world unwittingly hands it to him on a silver platter. Number 8, they prefer to be misjudged than fully seen. Sigma males understand that full visibility is a liability. The more people see of your strengths, intelligence, or intentions, the more they can manipulate, exploit, or attack you. That's why Sigmas prefer to be misjudged rather than fully understood. By acting clueless, distracted, or indifferent, they create a layer of camouflage that keeps everyone, predators, manipulators, and opportunists alike, guessing. This camouflage isn't accidental. It's a calculated decision to protect their true depth. People tend to underestimate what they don't fully comprehend, and the Sigma leverages that underestimation to maintain freedom and control. While others scramble to impress or assert themselves, the Sigma quietly observes, evaluates, and positions himself with precision. He doesn't need constant validation or acknowledgement. In fact, that would be dangerous. Exposure invites interference, envy, and unnecessary complications. By allowing others to misread him, the Sigma turns their assumptions into a shield. Anyone trying to test his limits or manipulate him wastes energy chasing illusions. They think they understand him, but in reality they are only seeing a curated fragment, enough to satisfy curiosity, but never enough to grasp his full capabilities or intentions. This keeps the Sigma untouchable in both social and professional arenas. There's also an element of patience in this strategy. The Sigma doesn't rush to reveal himself. He lets the world talk, make assumptions, and overcommit to their misjudgments. Each interaction becomes a subtle study of character and intentions, providing intelligence he can use later. When the Sigma finally acts, it's decisive, precise, and often shocking because people assumed he was out of the loop the entire time. In essence, being misjudged is a tactical advantage, not a flaw. Camouflage protects the Sigma's mind, energy, and influence. It keeps the predators away, the manipulators confused, and the world from seeing the full extent of his power. The brilliance of this approach lies in its quiet subtlety. He doesn't have to dominate, argue, or prove anything. He simply lets perception do the heavy lifting while he remains safely, strategically, and deliberately in control. Number 9, they let people reveal their own arrogance. Sigma males have an almost uncanny ability to turn other people's arrogance into a weapon without lifting a finger. When someone assumes he doesn't get it, they naturally lower their guard and start speaking down to him, over-explaining or showing off. Most people think they're proving superiority, but in reality they are revealing their true selves, their pride, insecurity, and hidden motives. The Sigma doesn't interrupt, argue, or correct them. He simply observes quietly, letting the arrogance unfold. Every smirk, every condescending remark, every attempt to assert dominance is data. In those moments, he's not just learning about what people say, he's learning about who they really are, what they value, and where their weaknesses lie. By letting others expose themselves, he gains insight without ever putting himself at risk. This approach is both subtle and brilliant. People who try to manipulate or test the Sigma usually do so expecting pushback. Instead, he provides none. Their assumptions that he is clueless or passive lead them to overextend, make mistakes, and ultimately reveal exactly who cannot be trusted or relied upon. The Sigma doesn't need confrontation to gain the upper hand. He simply lets the arrogance serve his purpose. There's a psychological elegance to this as well. Most people don't realize that arrogance can be a liability. They think it's strength or confidence, but in the Sigma's hands, it becomes a mirror. It reflects their true intentions and character back to him, without him ever needing to probe or force disclosure. By the time the interaction ends, the Sigma has a mental map of everyone's boundaries, motivations, and potential threats. He doesn't need to act immediately. The knowledge itself is power. This is why Sigma males rarely waste energy fighting pointless battles. They let others self-sabotage through arrogance, collecting intelligence while staying invisible, calm, and untouchable. In short, allowing people to reveal their own arrogance is not passive. It's a masterclass in strategy. The Sigma gains clarity, avoids unnecessary conflict, and quietly separates allies from liabilities, all by letting human nature do the work for him. Number 10. They recognize that true outsmarting happens in silence. Sigma males know that real intelligence rarely announces itself. While most people scramble to display clever comebacks, witty remarks, or quick solutions, the Sigma intentionally steps back, letting the noise unfold around him. His so-called clueless act isn't ignorance, it's a strategy to create space for observation, analysis, and calculation. In silence, he can absorb the full picture without distraction, noticing subtleties that others miss in their rush to impress. This quiet approach allows the Sigma to outsmart in ways that are precise and controlled, rather than reactive or impulsive. While others argue, exaggerate, or try to dominate conversations, he collects information effortlessly, tracking behaviors, detecting patterns, and understanding motivations. Every word and action becomes a clue, giving him the insight needed to dismantle situations later if and when he chooses. The brilliance lies in timing. The Sigma doesn't need to prove his intellect in the moment. He waits until the exact opportunity arises. When he acts, it appears effortless, as if the solution or maneuver came naturally. Meanwhile, those who are loud and aggressive have exhausted their energy, revealed weaknesses, or made critical mistakes. By staying silent, the Sigma turns overconfidence into vulnerability, using it to his advantage. This strategy also shields him from unnecessary scrutiny. People rarely challenge someone who seems disengaged or unthreatening, so the Sigma can operate without interference. His silence is a shield, a method of preserving mental energy while gathering intelligence. It also creates an aura of unpredictability. Others never fully know what he knows or when he might act, which keeps them cautious and deferential without him saying a word. In essence, true outsmarting isn't in winning debates, showing off wit, or dominating attention. It happens in silence, through observation, calculation, and patience. The Sigma's cluelessness is the perfect cover for this approach. It hides his capacity, lulls others into overconfidence, and leaves him free to orchestrate outcomes with subtle, surgical precision. Number 11. They avoid becoming a target of envy. Sigma males understand a hard truth. Obvious intelligence can be dangerous. People don't just admire brilliance, they often envy it, resent it, and in some cases actively try to undermine it. Displaying skill, knowledge, or strategic thinking too openly invites hostility, office politics, gossip, and unnecessary competition. The Sigma knows that attracting envy is a trap, one that drains energy and forces constant defense. That's why he deliberately hides behind a mask of cluelessness. By appearing disengaged, uncertain, or even slow to grasp concepts, he avoids triggering the natural insecurities of those around him. People underestimate him, talk over him, or attempt to teach him things, never realizing that he is quietly absorbing, calculating, and positioning himself far ahead. In essence, he turns social misperception into armor, staying invisible to envy while maintaining control of the situation. The genius of this strategy is subtle but powerful. Instead of confronting envy head-on, which can provoke confrontation and distraction, the Sigma sidesteps it entirely. He doesn't need to compete for attention or approval. His influence flows quietly out of sight while others exhaust themselves trying to assert dominance or keep up. By minimizing visibility of his true capabilities, he avoids unnecessary enemies while retaining complete control over his moves. At the same time, this clueless facade is a tactical filter. Those who genuinely want to connect, collaborate, or contribute reveal themselves naturally, while opportunists, manipulators, and jealous rivals are discouraged, misled, or sidelined. This allows the Sigma to cultivate alliances and influence selectively, without ever wasting energy on people who would drain it. Ultimately, avoiding envy isn't about arrogance or fear. It's about strategic survival and influence. The Sigma quietly steers outcomes, makes the best decisions, and achieves results while others squabble over status, recognition, or validation. What seems like inattention or incompetence is actually a brilliant method of navigating human dynamics, staying safe from hostility while always remaining several steps ahead. Number 12. They know chaos always exposes itself. Sigma males have an uncanny ability to watch chaos unfold without ever getting caught in it. In rooms filled with lies, inflated egos, and people pretending to be more than they are, most individuals feel compelled to intervene, correct, or compete. The Sigma doesn't play that game. Instead, he leans back, maintains his clueless facade, and allows the drama to run its natural course. He knows that chaos has a way of exposing itself eventually, and his patience ensures he sees the cracks before anyone else does. By acting disengaged or seemingly unaware, the Sigma lets others reveal their weaknesses, hypocrisies, and true intentions. People overreach, misstep, and entangle themselves in conflicts they could have avoided, all while thinking the Sigma is oblivious. This hands-off approach not only preserves his energy but also positions him as untouchable. When the turmoil reaches its peak, he simply observes, understanding who is dangerous, who is expendable, and which situations are worth his attention. There's also a psychological advantage to this strategy. By not reacting, the Sigma frustrates manipulators and control seekers. Their attempts to provoke a response or bend him to their will fail because he never engages on their terms. He doesn't need to argue, intervene, or correct anyone. The chaotic environment does the work for him, exposing those who are incompetent, deceitful, or reckless. When the dust settles, the Sigma emerges unscathed, often in a stronger position than anyone else. He has the clarity, insight, and energy to act decisively while others are still recovering from the chaos they helped create. His so-called cluelessness is not passivity. It's a strategic lens, a way to navigate turbulent situations without being harmed or distracted. In the end, the Sigma doesn't fight chaos because he doesn't need to. He lets it self-destruct, and by the time people realize the damage, he has already moved, unaffected, and in full control of the outcome. In his silence and patience lies a power most will never understand, the ability to outsmart the storm without ever stepping into it. Sigma males are often misunderstood, their cluelessness mistaken for weakness or inattention. Yet beneath that carefully constructed facade lies a mind that observes, calculates, and controls with quiet precision. Every act of seeming ignorance, every pause, every misperceived moment is a deliberate strategy to gather information, expose arrogance, avoid envy, and manipulate outcomes, all without drawing unnecessary attention. They don't need to dominate the conversation, fight for recognition, or prove their worth. Instead, they turn social misperceptions into weapons of influence, letting others reveal themselves, exhaust their energy, and stumble into their own traps. What makes the Sigma truly extraordinary is their mastery of timing and restraint. They know that loud brilliance attracts hostility, that visible competence invites exploitation, and that chaos always exposes itself eventually. By acting clueless, they shield themselves from these dangers while quietly steering the room, the conversation, and the situation in their favor. It's not about being invisible. It's about choosing exactly what to show, when to act, and how to let others reveal their true colors. In a world obsessed with appearances, Sigma males prove that power doesn't need to be loud, dominance doesn't need a spotlight, and genius doesn't need validation. Their strength comes from subtlety, strategy, and the art of remaining underestimated. Acting clueless is not weakness, it's mastery in disguise, a calculated tool that allows them to outsmart, outlast, and outperform without ever revealing the full measure of their capabilities. To truly understand a Sigma male, you must look beyond the surface. What appears simple or naive is often a web of quiet intelligence, patience, and precision, an invisible force quietly shaping outcomes while the world scrambles to catch up. The Sigma doesn't rush, doesn't boast, and doesn't need approval. He lets the game play out, confident that those who underestimate him will always reveal exactly what he needs to know, and he will always be steps ahead. If you found this deep dive into the mind of Sigma males as fascinating as it was revealing, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications so you never miss insights that give you a real edge. Smash the like button if this opened your eyes. Drop a comment with your thoughts or experiences, you know we love reading them, and share this video with anyone who needs to understand the silent power of a Sigma. Stay sharp, stay strategic, and remember, the smartest moves are often the ones nobody sees coming.